Hello, Imaginators. I wanted to do a quick video for you guys just to let you know where I am and what I'm excited to share with you in the near future. All through my entire life, I'm sure that you've been the same way. You feel like you're stuck, like you're in a rut, and a good definition for a rut, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's like, on a dirt road or a muddy road, you got ruts. Sometimes it's even in asphalt, and your car is like, you can't get out of the rut. And a definition for that is a rut is like a grave with the ends knocked out. So we get in this place where we just feel stuck and we sort of feel lost and we really don't know. Now, for me, I want to really stretch your imagination here to the Imaginators is when I feel that way. It's like, because when I pray and I surrender all. I surrender all. I just want to be, used to the best that I can be. I was created a miracle. I talk about that book all the time. And I just want to continue to level up. I want to continue. I believe that the energy within us, to give you a neat example, it's like if I told you to make your heart beat. If I told you, stop breathing. You can hold your breath, but pretty soon there's this living part of you that people don't understand, that your heart's going to keep beating. And, even if you pass out, that'll allow you to start breathing again, right? So we all know that this energy is everywhere and in everything, right? And sometimes things don't seem to be going or growing only for the reason is we just keep doing, and I'm speaking for myself, is we just keep doing the same thing over and over. And again, the definition of insanity is expecting things to change when you're not changing, right? So in my past, it was, all of a sudden when things were like really, bad, I would find things, and I was thinking, being in prison for stealing a beer truck for a senior party on my birthday. And as funny and as bad as that sounds, I just really looked at my life as over. All right, I'm done. There's no way I'm going to spend 5 years here. And then I started changing my thoughts. And when I changed my thoughts, then I was going like, no, I need to focus. It's actually called good time and bad time. So bad time is when it's everyone's fault. It's not your fault. Or still not your fault. You're still a victim. The only reason that you do things that end up in places that you shouldn't be is because you made those decisions. You hung around the wrong people. And that's what I understood. So I started changing the way I thought, and I very simply just said, I'm going to think each and every day and imagine a better future for myself when I get out of here. That's all I did. And so you guys have heard this. I'm not, special. We've heard this of prisoners of war. You know what I mean? A majority of the people die. And there's other people that just, they lock into their imagination. And we hear about these people like a lot of people that you guys have heard that McCain, and certain individuals that Mandela, oh my Lord, to be locked up by the very people that you're supposed to help, and then you get out and you do it anyway. And so we always see different examples of these individuals. So, someone threw me the New Testament, and I had never read the Bible. In fact, I always said that, I'm dyslexic, but I didn't know that, right? I just knew that it was very difficult for me to read. But I needed something so bad that when a janitor threw in that, little New Testament, a Gideon New Testament, a little red Bible, that I just looked at that as my decision that this was going to be it. And I brought this up before, but I think this will really be interesting for you guys to think about. every successful person or very happy person or a person that's done, really what would be considered miraculous things, unhuman things, is very unique that they all might have a different coach, a different book, a different maybe seminar or whatever. And why I believe that is, this is just me thinking outside of the box, is that why that book is so important to them is they made the decision. Listen closely. They made the decision that I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm done. I'm not living like this anymore. Jim Rohn talked about, lying to a Girl Scout. He gets a knock on his door, and the girl said, "Mister, could you please help us?" And his response was, "I already gave to another, Girl Scout." He lied. And he just said, man, when you're made decisions in your life where you're lying to a Girl Scout because you don't have enough money to buy some cookies, that's it. I'm over. And so those times in my life were that. I mean, my life miraculously just did a 180, my heart and my mind and the renewing of myself and just believing in the promises that were in that little red Bible. It switched everything for me. And before I know I'm out, before I know I'm on the dean's list as an auto mechanic, out of North Dakota State School of Science, that's what it was called. And now I'm on this whole new trajectory, man. Now I'm like, hey, I'm going from here. I got 71 jobs. I moved out and worked for Midas and then moved from there and transferred to LA because I wanted to be around race cars. And now my life is on this wide open trajectory again. And one part that I've never ever shared with people that I probably have to the imaginators and people that are close to me is that when I got hurt on the job, and I changed my identity and destroyed everything that I thought of. Again, I used to think sometimes that things happened to me. Now I believe that they happened for me. So during that time, there was nothing that was going to get me out of that rut. There was nothing that's going to get me out of that hamster wheel. I just consistently doing the same thing over and over and over. And I just, I had really lost my passion because I felt like, okay, if I worked toward being a crew chief, I didn't really see my life as being impactful to other people. People always ask all the time, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my passion is. I have two thoughts for you on that because I know how to get your purpose and your passion. One is find someone who already has one. Find someone who already has a burning desire, a passion, a purpose, and just get involved with them. Just get involved in them. Be around them. Watch how they put things together. And then the second one is the way to greatness is the service of many. Whether you want to believe this or not, you're a miracle. And that's why I tell people all the time, you know what book I'm grabbing, The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino. It is why people won't read that and why people won't study it until it becomes who they are. So that's why that's going to be another favorite book of mine, is because when I met somebody and they told me to read that book, I immediately went from I'm dyslexic, I only know how to be a mechanic, I'm not smart, I'm not street smart, I'm not business smart, I don't have good communication skills. I'm an introvert. I don't like sales. See, I had a really good list. How many of you know people, not you, but know people that have a list and of all the things and all the excuses, all the things and all the excuses that you can't do something. Well, the reason you can't or won't even attempt and don't feel like enough and you're not deserving is because you don't feel like you're a miracle. You don't feel like you're deserving. And all of a sudden when I read that book and realized, wow, there's nobody on the planet that's ever been created like me. There's no one that will ever be like me. And I was created to make an impact in other people's lives. My life is a living miracle of how things can be not good and how they can turn out very good. So it's that story, a living miracle, going from victory to victory to victory, is what's got me here. Now, of course, the next book was the Science of Being Great. The Science of Being Rich, in the Wallace Waddle books. And for the people that are on my YouTube channel and also Imaginators, I think that each and every one of you know that there's actually a whole study guide that we did. We not only went through all of the book, but we then did like a mastermind on the book. It's like it's part of my YouTube, and a lot of my Imaginators, they're going like, wow, we really dove into every single chapter of that book. And excuse me. So that was another turning. And so after that is one of the things that really like, bam, snapped me. Is and this was a few years ago, this was probably a little over 8 years ago, that I ran into, I was like, again, felt like I was in a rut, didn't really enjoy where I was sort of lost, and just like, can you believe that happened to me? And all of a sudden it was like out of a shard of the dark, I'm seek and you shall find. I believe that. And I found, a book by Vision Lakhani. And the book is The Code to the Extraordinary Mind. The Code to the Extraordinary Mind. Now, once I read that book, not only did I go through it chapter by chapter and just studied it, but it had a course with it. So I went through the course and just redefined. And that's where I got the whole concept of it's not about goals, it's about imagination. He didn't say imagination, it was more vision. Vision inspires success in others now. But it's like I had to redefine who I was and what I wanted to do. And it wasn't long after that. I was teaching it to everybody, and bang, all of a sudden Terry and I are involved in MDC, and that was 7 years and 3 months ago. And all of a sudden it's like, bam, just crazy. And so about the last year, I would say, is that, what's the next level for me? Now, I still believe without a shadow of a doubt, I love MDC, not just because it's helped me make incredible money and have freedom in a life that I've always dreamed of, but it's also helped me help my sons so they can pursue what they want. I love now watching my sons, be very, very excited about their future and really, really plugged in. That's been like, but I really love helping other people achieve their imagination. And so I've been sort of like seeking and knew, because it's happened to me in the past, that I would run into something that would just take my time, that I would just immerse myself in. And it was a program. I've never heard of this lady. How could I not hear about this person? But you're going to hear a little bit all the time about this Mary Morrissey. Some of you might know her. I've never heard of her. Isn't it crazy that, your wish is my command? I got my all the things I got here, my magic lamp here. And Genie, it's like seek and you shall find. And I just know that I need to make a different level and just really, really go to the next level. And so immediately, I didn't realize it, but I was watching some of her stuff, and I seen her and Bob Proctor. My wife, Terry, is really diving into a bunch of Bob Proctor stuff. And I've met Bob Proctor. I spoke on stage with Bob Proctor. I just love him. I love him. I love him. And him and Jim Rohn were, again, a season in my life. And when Mary Morrissey was doing this 11 Laws, she did a course with Bob Proctor. And each week they're going over a different chapter of a book that they both not only fell in love with, but this Mary Morrissey actually went to like, what do they call it? Like a university with him. You know what I mean? Went to his coaching in university. And so the book is called Working with the Law, Raymond Hollowell. And I'm going to put a link in here as well for the Imaginators, because I'm going through that book, studying like crazy. I'm going to apply it. And as I apply it, then we'll soon like start doing chapters on it, like we did with the Science of Getting Rich. My vision, my imagination for myself is jumped astronomically. I mean, like, I'll give you the number, 21 million. And net worth, 21 million net worth. That number in the past was 12. And so 1 million people get another gold plaque. So there's things that I'm imagining, and the number of people that I could impact, 1 million active subscribers, billions of views, billions of views. And so I'm writing them down. I'm putting new thoughts and imagination in my mind. And then I'm just sticking to that. So I just wanted to let each and every one of you know that of what I'm doing. And I want to share something that I just recently picked up from that. Now, we all know, that we all have to do our very, very best to control these, you got Dino in our head and all these different voices that are saying that we're not worthy, we're not deserving, we're not enough, you can't do it, you're not smart enough, you're not good on camera, your voice sounds stupid, you just can't. Well, Mary Morrissey did this story, and I just thought it was so powerful, and I hope it impacts you as much as it does me. And so, just imagine, put yourself in this story that you guys are visiting me at my home, and we're like in a family room doing some stuff. And all of a sudden I say to you, hey, will you do me a huge personal favor? Will you do me a kindness? And it's like, yeah, well, if I can. I said, listen, go down the hall and go into my office. And in my office, I have a book on my desk, and it's called The Greatest Miracle in the World. Could you go grab that book for me quick? Now, your willingness to want to do it, I hope, is there. You know that you've gone to rooms before, right? But now walk through this imagination with me. So you go to the end of the hall, the door's shut, and when you open up the door, it's like the darkest room you've ever seen. Now, how many of you can recall being someplace where it was so dark that even the adjustment of your eyes, you just couldn't see nothing? And how do you feel? It's like you're blinking your eyes, maybe some hair stands up on your neck, and it's like you're looking in there, you can't see anything, and it's like you're frozen, you're paralyzed. Might have some thoughts, I don't want to fall down, I don't know. And see, you can have all these thoughts and feelings that are not awesome, right? And watch how fast you can change your thoughts. Watch how fast you can change your thoughts. So your thoughts are, I don't want to walk back and ask Robert, I want to complete this thing. It's something simple. I can do it. And then all of a sudden you have this thought. Where's the light switch? Where is the light switch? You have that thought, and thoughts are things. And immediately you're not scared, you're not worried, you don't think that you're going to fail the task. Your goal now is find the light. See, you ask and you shall receive. Now you got a solution. So now what you're doing is you're feeling around the wall. You're feeling around the wall, and you're like, where's the light switch? Where that light switch is usually about right here, and you're rubbing up and down the wall. You following me? See, now when your imagination is where it needs to be, all your focus is on finding a way to turn on the light, finding a way, solution to turning on the light, instead of beating yourself up, beating yourself up going, I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not disciplined at this stuff. I don't like talking to people. What if they ask me if I'm making money? Who am I of value? See, you got to find those things that all of a sudden you click and you go, oh, I'm looking for the light. Well, now you're looking for the light, and lo and behold, you find it. You click it on, you see the desk, you see the book, you accomplished, you come out. I'm saying thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And that fast, you could change that. You can change your thoughts. So I'll leave you with this quick little story, is that, we have a tendency of having an imagination, but as soon as we have the imagination and we put it into play, then we don't realize that the same thoughts are things, that what we create, we also destroy. We also sabotage. So again, you guys seen my magic lamp back here, All right. And let's just say that, okay, you get, I'm just going to tell you a story, right? And so the guy finds the lamp, and he's walking along and he finds the lamp and he's going, man, I wonder if this works. So he rubs it, the genie pops out, and the genie says, I can grant you 3 wishes. Now, I love always saying this because, throughout life, you tell the same story and people say, I wish for unlimited wishes. Well, first of all, you can't use that one. The second one you can't use is you can't make someone go against their will. Like, I got this one person, I wish that would fall in love with me. You know what I mean? So you can't wish someone to do something against their will, which is pretty spiritual, by the way. I will not get off track. And then the last one is you can't wish harm on people. You can't wish harm on people. So those are the 3 rules. But anyway, genie says the rules. And the guy goes, I wanted a companion. I want an incredible woman that adores me. I don't want to be alone anymore. And poof, Genie, here's this incredible, gorgeous woman, very smart, great sense of humor. And she just loves and adores him. And so they're talking and they're getting to know each other. And he's like, well, I guess what I would like is a house. I like a really, really nice house for us to live in and raise a family in. Poof, they got a house. And he's like, wow, this is just really, really amazing. And he's like, okay, the finances. All right, I'm going to believe that I never can spend all the money. I always will have more than enough money, always in my accounts, always at my disposal. And so, bing, that happens. And so the first thing that he does is he hires a chef and he hires some servants, right? And he's got a butler and he's got a personal assistant and they cook him incredible food and they make the house look so awesome and buys this furniture and everything. And then all of a sudden, remember, thoughts are things? All right? And so all of a sudden, he starts thinking, wow, I have the perfect mate, unbelievable home, money, this can't be real. This can't be real. I don't deserve this. It's got to be a dream. Boom, everything's gone. And so all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute. I thought I had 3 wishes. Well, you do, but if you think and wish them away, they disappear. What? So how many of you have not only been in a place where, you feel like you're in a rut, you feel like things aren't growing? I believe that every living thing on the planet, you don't have to tell a tree to grow, you don't have to tell a flower or a piece of grass to grow, you don't get to tell a baby to grow. There's always this thing, this energy that's in and around and all of us that is consistently whispering to us, grow, grow, grow. You got more, grow. And a lot of people just ignore that voice. And that's why they're miserable. That's why, they're not happy. They're not full of joy. It's because they just no longer have appreciation, gratefulness. So in that story, if all the guy did was grateful for his mate, grateful for his home, grateful that he found the magic lamp, grateful that he never has to worry about money anymore. And he believed that the wishes were true and that he deserved it and he was worth it, then he would get to keep it. So I'll be sharing with you more videos. I plan on doing something too, maybe the first Sunday in July. I haven't even looked at when that is. But I want to start, interacting live with the Imaginators. And I'm thinking on, some stuff that I cover. If we have some questions where we can just do a Q&A, because I'm going through so much new stuff that as I lead that to you and I start going through chapter by chapter, making a commitment to do what I've done with other books is not see how many books I can read, see how many books I can master. And so if Mary Morrissey spent 2 years with this guy, Raymond Hollowell, and I've seen what she's done with her life, and then she connects with Bob Proctor, and Bob Proctor talks about, hey, this guy is the jam, this guy's the dude. I'm always so grateful and so grateful that when I get in the right mindset and seek and you shall find, I always seem to find the mentors of the mentors. I need to remember that quicker. But, I believe that what's happening to me right now, what I'm going to be sharing with the world, is at the best timing in the world. Because everyone right now, it just seems like it just gets more, what would be the word? It's more distracting now than ever. It's like everybody's like, oh my God, you see this, you see this. So it's easy to bite into somebody else's story if you're not working on your own. So I hope that helped you. Again, I'll post the link to the book here, and just wanted to reach out and tell the Imaginators that I love and appreciate you. I believe in you, and I'm looking forward to helping you live your imagination. God bless and talk to you soon. And I love you and appreciate you, and never ever forget that you were created for greatness, and you shouldn't listen to yourself or anybody else that you can't. I believe in you and I love you. Bye for now.